Have you ever considered that playing with only one single weapon through your countless playthroughs of Fallout 4 has turned stale? Well, what if your ability to kill became a form of a slot machine, where each kill would summon a mystery weapon at your hands? This captivating question creates a mystery for us hardcore Fallout 4 fans. So, this leads us towards the challenge of whether Fallout 4 can be beaten by having each kill randomize our weapons. We started this beautiful day with a creation that screams "keep your children away" and a sip of pleasant coffee, but as I turned my body, I noticed a salesman peeking through the small window within my door. To my discovery, it was Todd Howard, spreading the gospel of Starfield. I signed whatever he wanted and slammed the door on him respectfully, after which the nukes dropped, and we rushed towards the vault where the standard wife murder and baby misplacement took place. We defrosted ourselves like those delicious 5-minute meals, and max comboed some rad roaches into their graves. We grabbed the ultimate bling and met up with Hal 9000, who pointed us towards the town square of Ohio. While we were making our way towards the shithole of Fallout 4, I think this will be a good time to mention how this mod works. Each kill means that our weapon swaps after each kill or an assist from an acquaintance of the night. Our choices can range from quite good to the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen, especially since the rotation favors more on the melee side. Our pure enjoyment of this run will be determined whether my RNG will be self-sufficient or a fabrication of self-inflicted form of pain. But regardless, once in CumsCord, getting inside was no problem, but once inside the museum, we got to test the limitations of the awful hand-to-hand combat mixed in with the dose of self-combustion. After which we met Preston and grabbed the power armor to survive the drop. We abandoned the power armor and faced Dr. Curtis Connors like a real Chad. Luckily, RNG Jesus was on our side and we got blessed with the short assault rifle. We made quick work of the lizard and we moved our sight towards Diamond City, where Piper bitched our way into the city. Unluckily, the only person who would have been capable of helping us was missing, which meant that our search for Nick began and ended at the local Boston subway, where a bunch of beefed up Italians were waiting to fuck my shit up. This section was so terrible that a counter of death will be required to really understand how bad this was. At the entrance, some quite nice fellows showed me what a brain aneurysm felt like when fighting ranged individuals with just a Q stick. Through genius hiding and a generous 24 deaths, I was able to vanquish my first 3 enemies, and after which came the realization that there was one more floor ahead of me. We skirted slowly down the stairs to just get absolutely annihilated from the server. It didn't help that it didn't do any damage, nor were the weapon rolls aiding in our ability to kill. I realized once again that sitting in one room proved to be the best strategy in funneling these expired rejects from the oven. Somehow, I managed to upscale from laying the pipe to clawing myself towards an actual gun for once. Unfortunately though, my quick save scumming led me to quite a pickle, which meant I had to reload a save and do it all once again. Finally, praying to our Lord and Savior, we received a boost of pure dopamine, which overclocked my brain to that extreme. Once reaching the vault, I got to test the might of the Fat Boy. Surprisingly, unleashing the power like the way my uncle unbuckled his belt blew me away, but after some proper aiming and nuclear warfare, we entered the vault, reaching Nick, who was quite unimpressed to see us. Regardless, we grabbed the pasty male by the waist and sprung him to safety, but Skinny Malone and his hoe Darla decided to make one final stand in punishing my bad RNG rolls. But after a few reloads, Maloney became baloney. Nick and I escaped back towards Diamond City for a quick interview about Sean, which we learned of our next target, Kellogg the morning cereal. After following Dogmeat, we landed at the distribution center for the cereal brand. Yet the workers weren't very welcoming to our entrance, so I proceeded to start shanking the first synth my eyes laid on like a good British citizen. But I did learn that the pipe pistol is useless. This piece of shit wouldn't be able to hit a target even if it was standing still. Yet, nothing beats the rolling pin. I fucking hate the rolling pin. It should stay in the kitchen where it belongs. Once reaching the lower floor, we cleared our enemies rather easily to reach the bald crusader of the underground synthwave. Yet, Kellogg could barely stand to look at me in my hideous condition and launched the first attack. Luckily, through our amazing roll of RNG, I got blessed with an AK and absolutely railed the bald fuck out of existence. Once escaping the godforsaken factory, Team 10 and the boys arrived in style, but I was on a mission. We met up with Dr. Amari, who offered us the ability to seek through Kellogg's mind and solve the secrets of the Institute. Our next stop was going to Ohio if pollution won. Will this putrid green vomited colored landscape be the bane of my existence once again? Kinda. The Deathclaw still operated like the average user of TikTok and quickly lost interest in me. Yet the Rad Scorpions was still surely interested in stretching my ass cheeks apart and filling my pipes with some radioactive liquid. At least the mod decided to supply me with 5k venom syringes, so I suppose the poison wasn't the worst. After much tribulation and time wasted, we reached Virgin. The green ogre from Shrek pointed me towards Green Tech Genetics, which hosted a finite numbers of problems we were about to face. But I also learned that the tight corridors and melee weapons simply just do not go together. The form of masochism that I received cannot be understated. Each death felt like another recording was going to be needed for my own version of 13 Reasons Why. Through copious amounts of resets and lucky RNG rolls, we were able to reach the Courier. With no stim packs, I had to let creativity flow through my veins. I noticed that the Courier was holding prisoners, so the idea here was simple. Keep killing the boys and reload till I get something that would be functionable in our society. The game decided to insult me with a pool cue, but finally after a good roll, we landed at this masterpiece and knocked this invisible piece of shit out of existence. After we grabbed the courier chip and brought the goods to the railroad, while also choosing them as our ending. But the female version of Bobby Kotick had no intention of inviting me to the party till I completed a significant side quest for the clan. So I grabbed Deacon the shapeshifter and headed for Lexington. We lived through our own version of an Assassin's Creed follow mission and landed in the randomly generated building. Luckily for us, these ChatGPT bots were no match for our Chad-like swagger, and we smashed them with minimal effort, earning that triple S rank. We returned to the railroad, receiving glorious praise, which meant we were ready to build the supreme tower to get us into the building that kept our son as a prisoner. But in a ball-twisting reveal, our son wasn't the child, but rather the old creepy man. Even though it was nice to see our child, we were plotting against him to take the institution down. When I arrived, I uploaded our mixtape to the system and located our contact for the uprising. This closeted blonde weasel pointed us to one of Elon Musk's children, Z14-14, who provided us with vital info to complete the uprising. In the meantime, we went back to hang out with our unwanted bastard. We had to prove our loyalty, so we were sent on a mission to retrieve some synth from some raiders, who lived on the budget version of sea bungalows in the Maldivas. Once arriving at the shithole of the sea, our contact was too preoccupied with dealing with aerial support, so we dispatched ourselves in clearing the path. In the meantime, for some godforsaken reason, the hype beasts were here. I'm not sure why, but I don't think their armor is very waterproof. That said, the synth had quite the explosive protection, but once reaching the top, we spoke the sacred San Andreas cheat code and deactivated our boy. We returned to our boy, receiving a standing ovation for our success in our mission, but he already had another task ready for us. Bunker Hill was a pure shit show, but I parkoured to get inside and executed the courier with us. This motherfucker decided to give us attitude, and that's one thing I won't stand for. I axed the trench coat wearing pussy and returned to Sean with our good deed, but he didn't take it personally very well. Next on our list was to grab the reactor, but honestly, this part went rather smoothly. I avoided the stupid radiation and capped the protection. As we returned to the Institute, Z1 rushed to us with severe importance about an impending attack from the hype beasts. Right off the bat, facing these armored Cybertrucks was going to be the bane of my mental downfall. If you consider attempting this challenge in any capacity, a form of mandatory therapy sessions should be included in this section, with a prevalent role of melee weapons. Each interaction was like the equivalent of fighting Melania with a dance pad. Wait, someone did that? I made the same mistake of safe scumming and existing in the same rail as these deranged animals. Luckily, the fat man came in clutch and cleared the rest of our problems. The crazy white lady had the ambitious plan to counter the attack and take out Team 10 once and for all. We scraped through the police station and grabbed the vertebrate to the lair of the hype beasts. This section was equally as fuck, but I didn't have the heart to face my version of Nam yet again. I cleared what was needed, planted the charges, and turned away peacefully from the regime. Ain't no way this purple spiked dildo was gonna be what we need to defeat Maxis. Rather, I decided to watch from the beach and take my dubs. All that was left was the institution. I brought the peeps from the outside and scaled through the keep of the evil sins. We enjoyed the final amount of RNG rolls of melee weapons and murked our son, but somehow we caught a copy and paste version of our son. But as soon as I started the adoption process, I got teleported to the roof and set the shithole business to flames, which meant that Fallout 4 can be beat with the randomized weapons. Regardless, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed your stay. If I was able to humor you at least once, a sub and a like would be super appreciated, and I'll see you all in the next one.